basic shape of the circle. When you put on the cross contours, you know, she just said up and down. With this one, we're only going to put ones across. Here's what you should not do. All right? These are not really correct cross contours. They're close. Here's what you also should not do. This is not a cross contour. These are lines going across the form, but they're not correct. What I'm looking for when you place the contours, the cross contours on the circle, this will actually make it into a sphere, is I'd like you to start with kind of a little egg shape. Remember last time we talked, and we're going to be talking very soon about how to shade and how to shade correctly with pencils. We said in the reference we're using, the light source is coming from the upper left-hand side, right? Here's my little light bulb. So we're going to imagine that this is kind of the highlight, the area that's receiving the most light. And what I'd like you to do is think like rings of Saturn, think like rings on a planet. I want you to keep that egg shape, and you're just going to kind of enlarge it and make sure that you are curving all the way around the form. This one already gives the illusion of much more convincing depth than either of these two. Would you agree? Great. So that's what I'm looking for cross contours on the circle or sphere basic shape. All right? Let's do the pyramid. That one's going to be very similar to the cone. With this one, remember how we said we're going to transition from one leg of the pyramid or the cone to the other? That's what we're doing with this, is we're going from one to the next. So we're just kind of transitioning around. Remember, we also said we could actually shade with these lines too if we really want to. I'm not so concerned with that yet, but that'd be kind of good to do. All you have to do is put in more contours. Put in more cross contours, more lines. All right? And that will help us define that shape. Now, that's pretty correct, but I have to put the other ones in. I have to actually make the cross of the cross contour. And I'm going to do that following this. Okay? I have to follow that angle there and duplicate it. Be parallel to it. So this is where that cross comes in. And on this side, I probably won't do as many crosses because I want, or maybe when I do them, I'll put them every other one. I'm also using less pressure with my hand because I want to give the illusion of this is a lighter face of the pyramid and this one is darker and therefore will look like it's facing away. And you can kind of get the idea of how we're already shading in a lot of ways. And when we get to shading, you're going to be way better at it because if you shade in the direction of your form, things will look much more realistic. All right, let's see if I can get this last one in for you, the cube. All right, or the box. Let's get a new piece of paper, shall we? I'll draw it a little larger. All right, so box, I always said start with that closest edge. We've got some angles to work with here. Bless you. The box, again, we got light source from here, but the box you're just kind of looking at either this one we could start with, the horizontal. Ooh, I need to restate that, get it parallel. And then we can also go with the vertical legs, you know, on either side, kind of compare them. And I'm going to bring those in like so. All right, here I'm looking at this angle, top or bottom. I'm going to bring in fewer, again, because we're doing kind of our shading technique. And you can always go back and adjust more. You can put them in pressing harder or just layer in overlapping, crossing more lines. On the top, I'm going to put a few. I'm following this angle and that angle. Okay? So we want that top face to be kind of the lightest because it's receiving the most light. So I'm just going to put in a few just to show that it's not blank or white. I never want to leave something completely white because then it doesn't look like there's anything there. All right? So that's what you're up to. All right? The last thing I'm going to leave you with before I shut down here is you can even put in the cast shadows. And a cast shadow you'll learn really soon is the shadow being cast by the subject. So again, we are going to use line to do it. And this time, one thing with the shadow you want to be aware of, and this is probably the best reason to teach you cross contour. Check this out, guys, and then I'll be quiet and let you work. When I do this, I don't actually want to curve my cast shadow lines because then it will make it look like there's a puddle or a hole in the ground, like it's concave or convex. We don't want that. I don't see all your eyes on the screen right now. There should be no reason a phone is out. Can you put that away for me? All right, eyes up here. These need to be straight across because we want them to have the illusion that they are laying flat. So line is a powerful thing because if we curve it, it will start to look like it's dimensional, and we don't want the shadow to be dimensional. We want the shadow to lay on the table. So those you want to have them be straight and have them kind of lay down. Does that make sense? Kind of cool stuff. I mean, it's very basic, but it'll be helpful when you see where we're going next.